Galactic Empire in New World. What will happen if the Galactic Empire suddenly appears in the New World?
There is a technological gap that no one in the New World can bridge. Magic versus the Force. Arrow and spear versus turbolaser.
Starwars versus Japan summon or Nihonkaku Shoukan.
Please like, subscribe, and turn on notification button to get new story every time I uploaded it.
Part 2 Chapter 3 Waking Up.
Iskandar POV. Slowly, I came around. Dizziness and confusion enveloped me.
Where am I now?
As I recall, I was on the toilet at Skytree Station. Did an accident happen while I was on the toilet?
Oh, yes. The toilet was suddenly bathed in colourful light, and I felt dizzy.
Recovering consciousness was as hard as trying to swim to the surface of the water after sinking, so hard, as if I would have to fight the current that was pushing me back into the depths of the water.
I tried to open my eyes, but couldn't.
My hands, feet, and whole body didn't respond to my desire.
Panic set in, but slowly calmed me down. It wasn't long before I could open my eyes.
That's when confusion hit me.
The white room looks like a hospital, but I don't recognize the equipment. Even though I've been in the hospital quite often when my parents were sick before they died. It smells like a hospital.
Oh, it turns out my smell and hearing are back.
There was a low hum. It seemed like white noise. What equipment makes such a noise? Is it a hospital device? It was then that I realized that no one was in the room. Even though I can see, I can't move my body, but I try to remain calm.
Remembering that previously, I couldn't even open my eyes, but now I can see, smell, and hear.
I hope that in the future, my body can recover. I tried to stay calm and tried to move my limbs, especially my fingers.
It turns out that even though it's been almost an hour, I still can't move my hands. I felt hopeless at first, but I remember that one of my cousins had an accident. She took almost a month just to move her finger, although in the end, she was able to recover completely. I calmed down and kept trying while observing the environmental conditions.
But I still get tired easily, and sometimes I fall asleep.
But it felt like after hours, no one had come into this room. There's movement. I saw a part of the wall shift and open.
How shift?
The door uses a mechanical and automatic door.
Where is an ultra-modern hospital like that? How much does it cost to have a hospital have such a device? I remember the calculation of the price of automatic doors in my company. What's the point of using expensive tools that you don't need? Does Japan now have such a great and ultra-modern hospital like this?
I don't think so. A human-like object entered the room and approached me.
How robots? What is this? Why is there a bipedal robot?
Where did the bipedal robot with such smooth movement come from?
Is this man-made? I started to panic again.
I wanted to scream, but I still couldn't control my mouth. Was there an invasion from outer space?
It reminds me of classic 50s and 60s science fiction films about robots and invasions from outer space. The robot came closer and let out an intonation sound. Is it a language?
But why is it so different from the language I know? I saw a pictogram-like image on the robot's chest.
Is that writing?
How is it so different from the writing I know?
But it feels like I remember there was writing like that. I see a lot of similar writings around me.
It really feels like I remember something about the writing. But what is it?
Where have I seen it before?
I'm really having a headache trying to remember that.
The robot came closer and made more sounds.
From its intonation, I could tell that the robot was asking me something. But I don't know the answer. I just don't understand. Finally, after a while and several times when the robot made a sound,
it seemed that the robot was finally trying to check on me using a strange piece of equipment.
After that, the robot took out a small cylinder and held it close to my neck. I felt a slight sting in my neck. I felt my consciousness begin to decline and darkness begin to envelop me again. I realized I was being sedated. I dreamt of an empire on the scale of the galaxy.
I remember being on a starship. Is this the world of science fiction?
Starships resembling arrows were seen gathering.
Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer?
Am I dreaming about Star Wars?
I saw various pieces of equipment that I began to recognize from the world of Star Wars. TIE Fighter, Nebulombi frigate, and others. I felt I was in a war, both against the pirates and against the rebels. I'm on the Empire's side. Suddenly, the dream seemed to be sped up 100 times, a lot of knowledge and memories raining down on my mind.
I remember my childhood, but it wasn't my childhood.
I remember going to school in Karaskint, but didn't I go to school in Jakarta and its surroundings?
Where is Karaskint?
Isn't that the planet from the Star Wars movies?
I remember me and my family meeting with Senator Steve Palpatine.
Isn't he the Emperor, and at the same time, Darth Sidious, who wants to rule the galaxy? Thousands of pieces of knowledge hit me.
My head felt like it was going to explode. Knowledge of mechanical items I have never seen. Calculations and formulas that I never knew.
Areas I've never been to in my life.
Everything seemed to be flashing in my head at high speed.
But strangely, I understand it all. All of that caused my head to be very dizzy, sick and confused. I screamed as loudly as I could in my dream. But the strange memories kept popping up without me being able to stop them. I finally remembered a name. Trivat Ishani.
I am Trivat Ishani. End of part to chapter 3, Waking Up.